When someone looks big or bulky, what we immediately assume is the person is fat. And this is what internet is all filled upon, because if they see a fat person, immediately what they say is, come on, you have to start dieting, you have to start exercising, you have to lose your weight, etc., etc. All types of advices start flowing towards them. But what if I told you that big doesn't means fat, or excess weight doesn't means fat? So in this video we are going to bust some of the biggest myths around body weight, BMI, fat and fat loss. Stay with me till the end because this video is going to be a real eye-opener. Come on, let's get started. Hi, I am Sheikh Syed, a wellness coach with 2 times Ironman title, an ultra cyclist, Kashmir to Kanyakumari cycling world record holder, ultra runner and 4 times national level Kung Fu gold medalist. Our body weight is a combination of many things: bones, muscles, waters, organs and of course body fat. The number we see on the weighing scale cannot help us to understand what all these are contributing to the total body weight. That's why we say more weight doesn't mean more fat, because the method we use to determine whether a person is underweight, a normal weight, overweight is also not the right method to accurately determine whether the person is exactly healthy or not. Mostly our health is determined by a value from a chart called BMI or body mass index, in which a number is derived from the person's height and weight, and if the person is between that particular number, then the person is considered to be healthy, or if the number is less, then the person is considered to be less weight or underweight, and if the BMI number is between 25 to 30, the person is considered to be overweight, and if the BMI number is more than 30, then the person is considered to be obese. Now let us consider few of the greatest examples like Arnold Schwarzenegger or Mike Tyson or Dwayne Jackson, The Rock. These people, according to the BMI scale, fall into the obese or excess obese categories because their BMIs are always 35 plus. But their body fat percentage are always in single digits, less than the so-called healthiest people according to the BMI chart. So BMI is not an accurate measure for a person's health, so don't rely on it blindly. The next big factor that contributes to a person's weight, fat and the person's size is the role of genetics. Some people can be naturally broad, heavily built and thick-skinned, but that doesn't mean they are unhealthy or they have more fat, because genetic influences multiple things like our metabolism, how our body stores fat and basically how our body type is, because our body type has 3 major categories: ectomorph, endomorph and mesomorph. All these contribute to a great extent on how we look. So someone might appear huge or big, but they can still be healthy. Now let's see how we can check the exact amount of fat that we have in our body. For that we have 5 different methods ranging from the simplest one to the complicated one. First one is the pant fitment test. So if the pant is getting tighter around the waist, and even if our weight is not increasing and the pant is getting tighter day by day, then that means our body is storing excess fat around the belly area. Second is inch tape measurements. Take a measuring tape and measure the big parts in our body. For example, the chest, the thighs, the hips, the waist and our biceps, and regularly monitor them in a gap of 2 to 3 weeks. And if you see a significant improvement only in the hip and waist area, that means our body is storing fat under our belly, which can directly be assumed as a fat storage. But if overall every measurement is increasing, then we can be happy that our strength training is producing some positive muscle gain in our body. Third one is the WHR or waist to hip ratio. So measure the circumference around our waist and around our hip, and this ratio has to be less than 90%. Anything more than 90% is an alarming signal, and any value which is less than 90%, the more lesser the value, the more healthier and the more less fat we have, and the more lesser the value is a great sign that we are living a healthy life. Number 4, body fat analyzers or smart scales. Nowadays there are a lot of machines available which, along with measuring the body weight, can also measure our body fat percentage, our muscle mass and also our bone density. Start using these type of measuring devices to get a rough idea about how much fat percentage we have in our body. Also there are equipments known as in-body scan which are mostly present in the gym areas. So we can walk in through a gym and then have our body measured through the in-body scan, which can give some more accurate results compared to the smart scales. And to get the most accurate result, we can use a scan called as DEXA scan, which will be mostly available in the hospitals. The scanning procedure might be a little costly, but it can give us the most accurate value of how much body fat percentage we are having inside our body. Finally, number 5, skin fold caliper test. This test is usually done by trained professionals. So they use a caliper like tool to pinch our skin and measure the thickness at various parts of our body. And by using a formula, they can estimate the total body fat percentage to a considerable amount of accuracy. We also need to understand that fat accumulation doesn't happen overnight. It happens in 3 different stages. Stage 1 is energy surplus, which means we are eating more than we spend, or our body is mostly in a sedentary state. In this stage, the excess calories will be stored in our body in the form of fat. Stage 2 is subcutaneous fat accumulation. In this stage, we can see visible fat around our bellies, thighs and arms. Our clothes will start getting tighter and we will always feel dizzy or tired even for doing some simple activities like walking, jogging, climbing the stair, sitting down and standing up. The third stage is the dangerous stage, which is the visceral fat accumulation. In this stage, fat starts accumulating around the organs inside our body, and this increases the risk of insulin resistance, blood pressure, cholesterol and heart issues. This stage is more dangerous because we cannot visibly see the fat accumulation happening in our body around the organs. Now, by the above means, if you figured out that your body is having excess body fat than it required, then the first thing you have to do is, please don't panic, because once we panic, our body starts increasing stress, and the more stress we have, we will be creating a hormone called cortisol, and this hormone is the biggest culprit for storing more fat around our belly area. So the more amount of stress leads to more amount of fat storage. So the first thing we have to do is stop panicking and focus on the tips which will help us to reduce our body fat. And fat loss is not that difficult. You don't have to do crash diets, you don't have to skip meals, you don't have to work out for hours and hours. It is just 4 simple steps, and if you follow them regularly, then fat loss is much easier than we think. Step number 1 is eating clean and balanced. We have to ensure that our plate consists of all the macronutrients. Reduce the fat and glucose content by half and double the amount of protein and fiber in our food. And the most important thing is we have to avoid processed food, junk food, and especially we need to avoid excess oil and excess sugar. Second step is strength training. So strength training helps us to prevent muscle loss and increase muscle mass in our body. So the more muscles we have, it helps us to burn more calories even we are in the rested stage. So make sure you are lifting weights on a regular basis or at least 3 times in a week. So lifting weights doesn't mean that you have to always go to a gym. We can even lift our own weight within our home, like doing simple body weight workouts like push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, squats, lunges, burpees, etc. And by doing these simple workouts just for 3 times a day, we can significantly see a huge amount of muscle mass increasing in our body. Step 3 is cardio. Cardio helps to eliminate the stored fat in our body, and also it helps to tune our heart by improving our stamina. So weekly we have to have minimum 2 to 3 sessions of cardio workouts like jogging, running, cycling, swimming, or whatever you feel interested into. But please make sure the cardio workouts last for a minimum of 40 to 45 minutes. And finally, number 4 is sleep and recovery. Sleep helps in balancing our body hormones. So we need to make sure that we are sleeping an average of 8 hours per day, and that too we have to sleep early in the night and we have to wake up early in the morning. The ideal sleep time is between 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. So by following these 4 simple steps, we can easily reduce the total fat percentage in our body and we can lead a positive and healthy lifestyle. So I hope this video was much helpful and informative to you. And if you find this video useful, please hit the like button. And if you have any doubts about the concepts that we have discussed, then please mention them in the comment section. I will take special efforts to answer all your comments without fail. For more such fitness tips and techniques, please do subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video. Bye.